Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, princesses and princes, please take your seats, snuggle up nice and close, as the Dream Team proudly presents an enchanted story time with Princess Beauty.
Hello, my princesses and princes. I hope you're all okay. Just like you, I'm stuck in the castle for a little bit, so I decided why not sit down with my magic mirror and tell you all my story. I'm sure you've heard it before. Now, do you know how every story begins? Well, that's right. Once upon a time. Shall we say that together after three? 1, 2, 3. Once upon a time. That was amazing. Once upon a time, a selfish young prince refused to give an old beggar woman shelter in his castle. But the old woman was really an enchantress. As punishment, she turned the prince into a terrifying beast and cast a spell on everyone in the castle. Giving the beast a magic rose, she said, "This will bloom until your 21st year. If you learn to love another and earn that person's love before the last petal falls, the spell will be broken. If not, you will remain a beast forever." Oh my goodness. Could you imagine that, being a beast for eternity? Now, in a sleepy village nearby, an eccentric inventor named Maurice, we all know him as who? Correct, he's my papa. He lived with his beautiful daughter, and my name is Belle. Gaston, a strong and handsome young man from the village, had decided he wanted to make me his wife. Oh my goodness, could you imagine that? After all, he told his friend, LeFou, she's the best looking girl in the town. Gaston arrived at my house confident that I would marry him, but what did I say? That's correct, I said no. Could you imagine me, Madame Gaston? I don't quite think so. I knew I could never marry a man as arrogant and condescending as Gaston. One day, Maurice, my papa, set off for a fair with his latest invention. He was amazing at making inventions. Have you seen them before? As night fell, he lost his way, and he was a little bit frightened in the forest, can you remember? So he had to seek refuge. And what did he find? He found the beast's castle. Maurice was welcomed by some friendly enchanted servants, including, now can we tell who this is? Who is this? That's correct, that's Lumiere. And who is this? Correct, that's Cogsworth. Now Lumiere is a candelabra and Cogsworth is a clock. Now I have two more friends I'd like to introduce. Who is this? That's correct, that's Mrs. Potts. And who is this? Of course, that's Chip. But the beast was furious when he discovered a stranger in his home, and he threw Maurice into the dungeons. When Maurice's horse returned home alone, well, I was so frightened I set off at once. "Oh, Papa," I cried, as I made my way to the castle, and I found him where? Of course, in the dungeons. I tried to get him out of there. I tried as hard as I could, but who appeared? That's correct, the beast appeared, and he said, "Please, just let my father go. I'll take his place here." And what did the beast say? Did he agree? He did. He agreed at once, and he dragged my papa out of the cell and sent him back to the village. Now the beast showed me to my room, and it was quite a beautiful room, I must say. I had a wonderful wardrobe. Have you seen it? And the beast said to me, "You can go anywhere in the castle, except the west wing. That is forbidden." I was just so sad. I missed my father, my friends, reading my storybooks. So my wonderful friends, the enchanted objects, decided to throw me a wonderful dinner. It was amazing, and they tried to cheer me up with their singing and their dancing. Can you remember what they sang? Of course they sang "Be Our Guest," and they served this most delicious they call it the gray stuff. Oh, it was just delicious, and it was a wonderful supper. Lumiere is a fantastic singer, and he really does put on quite a good show. But I was still lonely in the castle, and later that night, I went for a wander. And where do you think I ended up? I found myself in the West Wing. There, among all the broken furniture and cracked mirrors, I found a single red rose. It was just magical to look at, but its petals were drooping very sadly, and there's just a few on the ground, wasn't there? Just as I went out to touch the rose, the beast burst in, howling with rage. Terrified, I ran out into the snowy night. I grabbed my horse and my cape, and I galloped off. I set off blindly into the forest. And then what happened? What appeared? Suddenly, I was surrounded by a pack of vicious, hungry wolves. Just as the wolves grew closer for the kill, who appeared? That's correct, the beast appeared. He fought them bravely, didn't he? And he drove the wolves away. The beast sank to the ground in pain. The wolves had injured him. And as much as I wanted to go see my papa and go back to my family, I just couldn't leave him there alone. So I took the beast back to the castle, and I tried to make him a little bit better, and I gently tended his bleeding wounds. He seemed quite different now, and I wasn't very frightened of him now. Meanwhile, at the village tavern, Gaston was still brooding over me, even though his friends did their best to cheer him up. Suddenly, the door burst open, and Maurice raced in. "Help!" he cried. "Belle is being held prisoner by a monstrous beast." The men in the tavern burst out laughing. They thought my papa was mad. But Gaston smiled to himself. He had fought a way to make Belle marry him. Oh my goodness. He called a tall, sinister-looking man over to his table, and Gaston began to tell him what he had in mind. Now, do we all like Gaston? Oh, you don't? Oh, some of you do? Oh my goodness. Well, maybe you'll change your mind as we journey through our story today. As the days passed, me and the beast spent more and more time together. The enchanted servants were delighted. They were certain that I would fall in love with their master and break the spell, but time was running out. Each day, more petals fell from the magical rose. And what can we see here? Can you see? What are me and the beast doing? Are we playing in the snow? Now, did you see the snow that came about yesterday? It was just a little flurry. I wonder if Elster's in town. One evening, after dining and dancing together, me and the beast sat out on the terrace in the cool night air. "Are you happy here, Belle?" he asked. "Yes," I replied. "I just wish I could see my father again." "You can," said the beast, and he gave me a magic mirror. "This will show you whatever you wish for." "Okay, thank you," I exclaimed. But as I gazed into it, I saw my father lost and trembling with cold as he searched for me. Although the beast loved me, he knew he had to let me go. "Take the mirror with you," he said sadly, "so you can remember me." I set out from the castle, and I soon found my papa. I brought him safely home, and I put him straight to bed. The next day, Gaston arrived at my house with a crowd of villagers. He said that my papa would be taken to an asylum unless I agreed to marry him. "My father's not mad," I cried. "He must be. He was raving about a monstrous beast." "The beast is real," I cried. "Look!" I held up the magic mirror, and the crowd saw the beast for themselves. They shouted with fear and refused to listen to me when I told him that the beast was kind and good. The men marched up the castle doors and broke them down. Cogsworth led the enchanted servants in a brave defense of the castle. But the beast missed me, and he was too heartbroken to fight, even when Gaston beat him with a club and drove him onto the castle roof. Only when he heard My voice did the beast look up. "You came back," he cried, rushing to embrace me. This was the chance Gaston had been waiting for. Drawing his dagger, he stabbed the beast in the back. But as the beast collapsed, Gaston tripped and fell and tumbled from the roof straight into the river. I ran to the wounded beast and bent down to give him a kiss. The last petal was just about to fall from the rose. "You can't die," I cried. And I said 3 very important words. Do you know what they are? That's correct. I said, "I love you." "I love you," I said. "I wish I had never left you alone." Suddenly, a magic mist surrounded the beast, and there, before my eyes, he changed into a handsome young prince that he had once been. One by one, the enchanted servants became human again. Weeping with joy, they hugged each other as the prince swept me into his arms. The prince had found his true love at last, and the spell of the enchantress was broken. As the sun burst through the clouds, they all knew that they would all live together, happily ever after. From myself and all my friends here at the Dream Team, thank you so much for being so understanding during this difficult time. Please remain safe and keep your loved ones close, and an extra kiss and a cuddle for them each night. I hope to see you all again soon. If not, I'm sure my friends will keep you entertained these upcoming weeks. I heard there's going to be dancing, some baking, and even learning how to be the perfect princess. I hope you're all reading your books, eating your vegetables, making your beds, and enjoying them extra cuddles and maybe a few extra games in your castle. After all this, I'm sure me and my friends would love a warm Olaf hug. So we'll see you very soon. Stay safe and good night. Goodbye.